Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Can all of you hear me properly?
Yes.
All those who are online, can you hear me properly and see me properly? If you can do so, can you please raise your hands to confirm? The voice is clearly audible? Okay. Thank you very much. So we will begin today's session. Today's session is anybody joining for the first time online or physically? Anybody coming for the first time?
Yes.
Both of you? What are your names?
Jagdish.
Vijay Kumar. Welcome. So this is our center. We call it as ISKCON Whitefield. And we hold weekly sessions every Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Online, anybody joining for the first time? I don't think so. Anybody? Sachin Prakash is saying that he has joined for the first time. So welcome, Sachin Prakash. Nice to meet you today. So today's title, on a weekly basis, we meet and we try to discuss Krishna Katha, topics related to the Bhagavad Gita, topics related to our overall well-being in general. And I'm very, very happy. My name is Acyuta Arjunasakha Das, for those who are meeting me for the first time. I'm a teacher here at ISKCON Whitefield. And the objective of these sessions is to give everybody the right approach in life by which they can understand what to do, what not to do, how much to do, and most importantly, how to control their mind and become happy in life. How many of you want to become happy in life? Almost all of you. So the objective of these sessions is to show us the path of becoming happy in life. And so today's session is called as Cupid Made Me Stupid. How many of you know the meaning of the word Cupid? Cupid, what does Cupid mean? Yes. Anybody online who knows the meaning of the word Cupid? What is the meaning of the word Cupid? Demigod in charge of?
Love.
Not love, lust. So Kamadev, or the demigod in charge of lust, is called as Cupid. Yeah, Cupid can also be alternatively called as lust. So today's session is based on understanding objectively how to not fall into the traps of this lust. Cupid made me stupid. So like all the other sessions, we will begin this session also with some kirtan. Can you give me this Mridanga, please? Thank you. So I like music very much, especially when music becomes divine. When it has the holy names of the Lord, we like it even more. So we will just for 5 minutes, just to set up the mood and ramp up the atmosphere here and make it surcharged with the blessings of the Lord. We'll do some kirtan. Okay? You know the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? You can hear and try to sing with me. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 राम 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 Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome every time before we begin the session, so that the right words come out at the right time, and so that the original context of the Bhagavad Gita and the original message which the Acharyas have given do not get watered down, and so that both the hearts of the speaker and the listeners both get purified. We need to take the blessings of the Acharyas, the teachers who have taught us, because of whom we are here today. So I'm going to chant some pranam mantras. We call it as the invocation mantras, to seek the blessings of the previous Acharyas. Those who know this, they can repeat with me. Those who don't, just try to hear it very attentively. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshutarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So, the title for today's session is Cupid Made Me Stupid. We just discussed that Cupid means the demigod in charge for the lusty tendencies which people in the material world have. I think it's not something very difficult to understand and believe that lust is a problem. How many of you feel that lust is a problem? Different people have different opinions. But online, how many of you feel that yes, lust is a problem? Life would have been much better if there wouldn't have been any lust in my heart, any greed in my heart, any enviousness in my heart, any anger in my heart. Life would have been better, right? Without these things. And these desires, lust, anger, greed, enviousness, attachments, illusion, they are making life difficult. Don't you agree? A world without this kama, krodha, lobh, moh, mada, matsarya would have been so nice, so beautiful. But because these things, 6 things which we have in our heart, life becomes very difficult. Imagine if you are agitated by lusty desires throughout the day. Can you achieve anything in life? Suppose whole day you are agitated by lusty desires. Can you achieve anything in life? Whole day you are thinking about some man or some woman. will you be able to achieve anything in life? Yes or no? No. You need to focus. So these lusty tendencies, they make a person stupid. How they make one stupid and what is the degree to which the stupidity is there, that we will try to analyze and understand in today's session. So there are various ways in which this Cupid makes us stupid. One of the biggest ways is the soaps, serials, or let's say the movies, Bollywood, Hollywood. In South India, they have Tollywood, what, Sandalwood, Collywood. Yeah. So what happens in these movies? If you will see, they portray a very unrealistic picture in front of you. I'm just trying to describe how this lust attacks us and makes us stupid in various ways. So they make a very, very unrealistic picture. There'll be 4 paragraphs in one song, and each paragraph will be in different country. Have you seen one paragraph in a desert, one paragraph in an ice snow place, one paragraph in a garden, one paragraph in some mountain, one paragraph in some swimming pool, and ultimately they come in front of a tree and then they run around it. Has anybody done this till now in your life? Huh? And you sing one paragraph in a mountain and then you catch a flight and then you go to a desert and then you sing another paragraph. Don't you think it's very unrealistic? It makes you stupid. So the expectations which these, I would like to say these movies or this Bollywood, Hollywood, they are so much culturally impacting our lives and our lifestyle and our thought process that it made us completely stupid. Everybody, please remain on mute until you have a question, unless you have a question. So, when I was a small child, I was seeing one movie of Amitabh Bachchan. And in that movie, after being beaten up, Amitabh Bachchan used to say, "Mard ko dard nahi hota." It means a person who is a man, he doesn't feel any pain. And one day I did some mischief in my house. And my father caught hold of me. And my father gave me. And guess what I said after that? I was a small child and I told my father, "Mard ko dard nahi hota." You know what my father did after that? He gave me 2 more. And then he asked, "Ab dard ho raha hai?" And then I said, "Yes." So then I realized that whatever they are showing in these movies, it doesn't work in real life. There is no laws of karma there. They show you a movie where their thief has stolen something or a person has done some crime and he gets away with it and lives happily ever after. But they don't incorporate the law of karma. So people these days, and what is the main central point of these movies? Cupid. What love affair this man is having with this woman, and this woman is having with this man. Sometimes it's a love triangle, love quadrangle, love hexagon. I don't know what all things have come these days. And that is the main set. Gone are those days when they used to make some autobiographies or documentaries on great people. You know, like initially we had movies like Raja Harishchandra and etc., etc. But these days everything is based on a love affair. Don't you agree? 99% movies is that only. And people, instead of treating these movies as just a source of entertainment, they have made these movies as their spiritual masters. They learn everything from these movies only. So in this way, Cupid is completely contaminating us through the movies, soaps, serials. What are the other things these days? Where else is the source of contamination?
The education system itself.
Of course, educational system itself is the contamination because they encourage you. They encourage you very much to freely mix unnecessarily with the opposite gender. If you are trying to mind your own business and do your own thing, and if you are not freely mixing with the girl in your university or with the boy in your class, they'll call you backward. Correct, no? He doesn't even talk to that they'll say. That's how it is contaminating in every way. So these movies, they play a very, very important role. These days, something called as Netflix has come up, and so many other YouTube channels have come up, which are just serving unnecessarily agitating content. In fact, if we check the internet transactions of everybody, most of the people, they are hooked on to such kind of Cupid made stupid content. That is the sad reality of today's situation. Another way in which this Cupid attacks us is through the advertisements. They'll take a mobile, and then a very good-looking female actress will come with that mobile as if she has got something to do with that mobile, and then she'll stand with it and she'll say, "This is my mobile," and immediately one will get up and spend 35,000 buying that mobile. Does this happen? Yes or no? No, it doesn't happen. All the things which are selling these days, it's statistics that 95% of the advertisements, they are simply based on the sensual factor. They'll put in a person who is very, for example, I saw recently the ad of Mahindra Xylo. It's a car. One girl wearing less clothes was sitting in front. Another girl was waving her hands outside the car. Another girl left side, right side. And then they said Mahindra Xylo. Get it and become fortunate. So it's not just a coincidence that these advertisements, they are just trying to sell us things which have no meaning actually. For example, there are so many advertisements which I had seen which was related to smoking. And they portray someone, a man who's smoking or a woman who's smoking, they portray that person as very cool. He's drinking fire. She's drinking fire, and they're portraying it as be cool. You know, what happens in your lungs when you smoke? It becomes heated up. It becomes charred, and it contains all kinds of harmful substances. And your whole body temperature also rises when you smoke. That's why you smoke in the winter. My friends used to tell me, when you smoke, you feel hot. Instead of wearing sweater, you should smoke. So you're actually swallowing fire, and they are portraying you as you're very cool. So in this way, it makes you stupid. Recently, I saw the advertisement of Bisleri. They were showing only different women wearing less clothes with drinking the water. Why? Children don't drink Bisleri. Huh? Men don't drink Bisleri. Old man didn't do. Even a camel drinks Bisleri these days. So, you know, another advertisement which I saw was Coca-Cola advertisement. Jo chaho ho jaye, Coca-Cola enjoy. So this is also a very, very stupid way in which they are just setting up artificial expectations in life. These days, 30 years ago, if somebody would have told that I am paying 40 rupees or 50 rupees for 20 liters of a bottle, people would have laughed at us, correct? They would have told, leave that place. That place is hell. But now that is normal, you see. We are paying 40, 50, 60 rupees for one bottle and we are drinking it and we think it is normal. Why? Because this is the trend which has been set up by these movies, these advertisements and things like that. So we have been made stupid because of these things. Apart from this, this Cupid also attacks us through various philosophies. There are some philosophies like Sambhog se Samadhi. Have you heard of this philosophy? This is the philosophy of Osho. Our dear friend Osho says that you should have so much sex you have that ultimately you will become as great as some tapasvi. You'll enter into samadhi. You'll enter into a trance by doing that. Now you tell me, is it possible by doing that? I'll ask you a very basic question. If I tell you that you steal so much you do stealing, theft and dacoity on a daily basis, moment to moment, that one day you will become Raja Harishchandra. Do you follow with this philosophy? Huh? When you do something repeatedly again and again and again, it frames a very strong samskara or a very strong habit or impression in your mind, and it is very difficult to get rid of. They say old habits die hard, correct? So if you have got into some habit, is it very easy to come out of that habit? No. You will have to struggle so much. Now imagine this person is telling, have sex on a daily basis in such a way, in so many times a day, that one day you'll go into samadhi because it is completely against the basic psychology and the basic common sense of a human being. So these kind of philosophies are also very contaminating. And these philosophies, they don't make you a good man. These days in the universities, in the colleges, in the schools, a person who has a boyfriend or a girlfriend at a very young age, they are looked upon as very cool people. Oh, he has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. Oh, very good. Now, these days, he also has a boyfriend. Can't say anything. So, appearing very cool. Oh, every semester he changed his girlfriend. Very nice. But does that make that man of a man of good character? You tell me. A person who is not of good character, even if he becomes a CEO of a company, he commits suicide. There are so many cases in Bangalore. Very recently. Yes. A leader of the leading chain of coffee restaurants committed suicide. There was some problem in his character. Similarly, I know another CEO of one company. He was roped in for scandalous cases. Now, these are people with different PhDs, different master degrees from this university, from that university. They have so much experience, but they cannot control their lusty desires. So therefore, Chanakya Pandit has said, good character means what? Matravat paradareshu paradravyeshu lostravat atmavat sarva bhuteshu yah pashyati sa pandita. Chanakya Pandit says that one who looks at every other woman except his wife as his mother, one who looks at everybody's property except his own property as garbage, and one who looks at everybody on the platform of the spirit soul, only that person can be called as a man of good character. Only that person can be called as a Pandit. And how does these characteristics come? These characteristics come when you become a devotee of God. There are so many philosophies like this Rajneesh philosophy and this philosophy, that philosophy. They seem to take you to the mode of goodness, but actually they don't. And we have practically seen those who are not devotees of the Lord, those who are not devotees of Krishna, no matter what qualification they have no good quality in them. That's why the Bhagavatam says, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate suraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahihi. The Bhagavatam says, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Those who are devotees of the Lord, they have all good qualities. They don't try to get those good qualities simply by becoming devotee, simply by rendering devotional service to Krishna. They automatically, without even trying, get those good qualities. You want to be free of lust? Just become a devotee of Krishna. You don't need to try. Automatically, you'll become. You want to be free of greed? Become a devotee. Automatically, you'll become free. You want to be free of illusions? You become a devotee. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Automatically, you'll be free of illusions. So the devotees of the Lord, they have all good qualities. On the contrary, harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna. Those who are not devotees of the Lord, those who are not devotees of Hari, harav abhaktasya, they have no good quality. Irrespective of what PhD they have, what XYZ circus which they have done, what CEO they have become, they have no good qualities. And we can see it as a proof. In our daily life, we are seeing there are so many people who walk into this temple wearing such nice dress, tip top, tapa-tup. But when the moment they open their mouth, we can understand, oh, this person is a pig. Why? Because they are not devotees of Krishna. The thoughts which they bring, the ideas which they bring, the degree to which they are fully trapped in the mode of passion and ignorance is very pathetic to see that. They are spiritually starving. So that's why it is said, Harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna, mano rathe nasati dhavato bhahi. Why they have no good quality? Because they are simply seated on they are living their life by their own whims and fancies. They think, according to me, in my opinion, I feel. They don't care for what the Bhagavad Gita has to say. They don't care for what Lord Krishna has to say. They only argue, according to me, I think, I feel, I believe, in my opinion, as if your opinion is very important. What is their qualification? They don't have any qualification, but they carry an opinion. I have one YouTube channel and I have my opinion and I keep speaking on it and people keep seeing it. That is my qualification. So we see that in this way, Cupid is making us stupid. And most of the things which this sensual sensory enjoyment which we talk about, it is only at the level of the mind. Outside the mind, it is not there. I'll give you a practical example. How many of you have seen that advertisement that there is a lady who is walking on the road and a man sees that lady from behind, very nice dress, very nice hair, and starts following. And then he follows for 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And then automatically that lady turns around and it comes out that she's not a lady, but he's a man who has long hair and who's wearing that kind of a dress with a mustache. Then immediately he feels very disgusted. So you have to understand from this point that this desire for sensual satisfaction, this Cupid, makes us stupid only at the level of mind. There is no reality in this pleasure. I'll give you another example. Two friends were traveling in a bus. I've heard this from people, and this is a real story. Two friends were traveling in a bus, two boys. So one of them got a seat, one of them didn't get a seat. So the person who was sitting, he was blissful. Jaga mil gaya hai, baith gaye, what else do we need in life? We have to just wait for our stop to come. But the person who was standing, he was miserable. But then a very beautiful girl came and stood behind him. And then he was thinking, my misery is about to end now. Why? Because a beautiful girl is behind me. Immediately he started dressing himself properly, hair, watch and shirt and everything has to be proper. And then 2 minutes before he was miserable in the same bus, same number of people. But as soon as one girl came, his misery went away. And then the bus driver applied some brake. So the girl's body, it rubbed against the hand of the boy. And he was feeling like, this is heaven. This is what I wanted. And the other friend was seeing this and he was laughing. It so happened that someone got down from the bus and that girl got a seat. But then another man came and stood behind this boy. But this boy didn't see that the girl sat down and when a man has come here. And for the next 40 minutes, the bus kept moving. And this boy was feeling so much happy that the girl is behind me. And every time the brake is coming, the hand is rubbing against my hand. And the boy was feeling so happy. And after 40 minutes, when he looked behind, he saw it was an old man. And then he felt very disgusted. So what does this prove? This proves that this so-called sensual satisfaction, it is only at the level of the mind. There's no such thing as skin-deep beauty. There's no special vitamins or special nutrients in the body or in the skin of the opposite gender. It is all same. Dead skin here also, dead skin there also. The man doesn't have anything in his skin. The woman doesn't have anything in her skin. It is just in the mind. This fact we have to understand. Can two beggars become millionaires by looting each other? Is it possible? That is the reality. There's no such happiness which one derives. It is just in the mind. Otherwise, why do we see so many divorces these days? Why do we see so many breakups these days? Why do we see all these live-in contracts going on? After 6 months, you go your way, I'll go my way. Your way or my highway, my way or highway. Love at first sight and divorce at first fight. Why all these things are happening? Because people are thinking that there is some happiness in this sensual arrangement or in this sensual engagement. They are thinking that Cupid can make me happy. But they do not understand that Cupid cannot give them happiness. Cupid can only make them stupid. So boys and girls, boys are shallow and hollow, and girls are shallow and hollow. That is the reality. There's no happiness in this kind of even what to speak of these things. Even honeymoons, they don't last for more than 15 days. People cannot tolerate each other after that. They have to come back and go to work. Have you seen like a 4-month, 5-month honeymoon going on? At least I have not heard. People get frustrated with each other. And because a man and a woman, they come close to each other, or they come into a relationship of marriage, not for the desire to do service and sacrifice, but they come with a desire to gratify each other. You scratch my back, I will scratch your back. There's no question of sacrifice. There's no question of service. You gratify my senses and I will gratify your senses. As long as you are able to gratify my senses, I'm with you. And as long as I'm able to gratify your senses, you are with me. The moment there is some interruption or discontinuation in this sense gratification business, immediately there is separation. Is this going or not? Or is this happening or not in the society? This can happen with each one of us also. Don't think that you are somebody separate because you don't have that training. Gone are those days when people used to give value to duty more than their rights. These days, people only want rights. They don't care for their duties. Gone are those days where sacrifice and service was the main motive why two people used to stay together. These days, it's all nuclear families. Just do unlimited sense gratification, and so many cases I have seen like that. Almost on a weekly basis, someone calls me or someone comes with me with such kind of a case. That this happened, she left me. 3 years I was with her. My friend, he bought a car and she left with her. 3 saal, Prabhuji, 3 saal. Chhod ke chale gayi, Prabhuji. And then they cry like anything. Because they do not understand that Cupid cannot make anyone happy. God can make you happy. So the anticipation is very high and everything is on the level of the mind only. So therefore, I need the television connect. People come and see if the HDMI one is selected or not. I'll show you a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which all of us can read and learn from. Is it HDMI one? Okay. So is it big enough for you to read? Television? Can you see this? Okay. The people who are online, can you see it? If you can see it, can you please type yes in the chat box? If you can see my screen, can you type yes? Okay. Thank you very much. So see, this is a very nice verse. I have been speaking that this Cupid functions only at the level of the mind. And in the course of the discussion, I'm going to give more proofs. But here is a proof from the scriptures. Someone may say, Arey, Prabhuji, only you are saying it is your experience. But it's not my experience. The scriptures also say the same. See, this is a very nice verse. Yan maithunadigraha medhi sukham hituchham kanduyanena karayoriva dukkha dukkham tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhajaha kanduti van manasijam vishaheta dhiraha. If you go into the translation of this, it's very clearly told in the scriptures that sex life is compared to the rubbing of 2 hands to relieve an itch. Suppose if you have an itch in your hand, okay, you scratch it, then what happens? You feel like scratching more. You scratch it more. Then what happens? You feel like scratching more, so you scratch more. Then what happens? The skin comes out. Then what happens? The epidermis comes out. Then what happens? The hypodermis, inner layers of skin come out. Then what happens? Blood comes out. But even when the blood is coming out, do you feel like stopping scratching?
Yeah.
No. Scratching will be there. The tendency to scratch will be there. Sex life is like that. This idea of sambhog se samadhi is a completely false idea. Some people think that, okay, let me gratify my senses today, I will be peaceful. But they do not know that the more they gratify, the more they will be in the clutches of that. So the Bhagavatam says, sex life is compared to rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grahamedhis, or the so-called grahastha, these are those people who do not see. Grahasthashram means you follow some rules and regulations. In the 50 years ago also, even if husband and wife used to simply intermingle too much, the elders used to scold them. What are you doing? So union means with a desire to produce a God-conscious child. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that sex life which is not devoid of religious principles, I am that sex life. Krishna says that. So according to the religious scriptures, you should engage with your wife, legitimate wife, and not with your boyfriend, girlfriend, XYZ, blah, 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 neighbor's wife, whatever, I don't know. These days, everything is going on. And with your wife also, you should engage not in a very irrational way. There is something called as Garbhan Samskar, which you should do. You should take blessings. You should prepare your consciousness. And then you may unite to produce a nice Krishna conscious child. That is the process. So those who do not have this training, and when they enter a grahasthashram, that ashram is not grahasthashram, that is grahamedhi ashram. That is like, I don't know how to drive, but I've sat into a Mercedes. What is going to happen after that? Accident. So that is what it is being told here. Grahamedhis, that means those who do not have training for grahastha life, so-called grahasthas who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Kripanas, the fools, who are just the opposite of the Brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals. So if you are getting an itch in your hand, the best thing is to tolerate it. How? Either you can apply a cream, or else you can find out the root cause of this itch, some problem in the blood, cure that. The solution is not itching. The solution is to find out what is the cause of that problem and fix that. But the process to treat this itching starts with tolerance. One needs to learn how to tolerate. So you see, in the word-to-word meaning, there is a word, manasi jam. What does the word manasi jam say here? Which is simply a concoction, a mental concoction. Actually, there is no happiness. So this Cupid is putting us into a very, very illusory world where there is actually no happiness. We are just thinking that we are happy. I gave you the example of that bus. I gave you the example of that advertisement. That is the reality. One just thinks that it's manasi jam. It is just mentally created. There is no happiness in it. Trust me. There is no happiness in it. In this verse, in the purport to this verse, you see such nice points have been written down. Materialists think, you can see the television, purport. Materialists think that the sexual indulgence is the greatest happiness in the world, and therefore they make elaborate plans to satisfy their senses, especially the genitals. This is generally found everywhere and specifically found in the Western world, where there are regular arrangements to satisfy sex life in different ways. Actually, however, this has not made anyone happy. This is the reality. Even the hippies who have given up all materialistic comforts and their fathers and grandfathers cannot give up sensational happiness of sex life. Actually, a point to be noted here is all the women in the world cannot satisfy the sensual appetite of one man. All the women combined together cannot satisfy the sensual appetite of even one man. And similarly, all the men in the world cannot satisfy the sensual appetite of even one woman. That is the degree of madness. That is why Prabhupada, the Acharya, is writing that it has not made anyone happy. Such persons are described here as kripanas or misers. The human life is a great asset, for in this life one can fulfill the goal of existence. Unfortunately, however, because of lack of education, here education means spiritual education. Here, because of lack of education and culture, people are victimized by this false happiness of sex life. Prahlad Maharaj therefore advises one not to be misled by the civilization of sense gratification, and especially not by sex life. Rather, one should be sober, avoid sense gratification, and be Krishna conscious. The lusty person who is compared to a foolish miser never gets happiness by sense gratification. The influence of material nature is very difficult to surpass, but as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. If one voluntarily submits to the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be saved very easily. And then a very nice verse is being quoted. In the reference to the low-grade happiness of sex life, Yamunacharya says in this connection, Yamunacharya is a great acharya. He says, Yadavadhi mama cheta Krishna padar vinde nava nava rasa dhamnya udyata rantumasit. Tadavadhi bata nari sangame smaryamame bhavati mukha vikaraha shushtu nishtivancha. Since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, please take note, our mind has the tendency to be dissatisfied and unhappy in every situation. Have you agreed? Do you agree? Today you are thinking you will be happy if you get this car, but after getting the car, you'll again become happy. And then you'll think, okay, if I have this helicopter, I'll be happy. You get the helicopter, again, after sitting in the helicopter, you'll think, chartered plane hota tha acha. And then in the chartered plane, when you're sitting in the chartered plane, you will be thinking, if I would have gone to the moon only, it would have been better. So the mind has the tendency to be unhappy and dissatisfied in every situation. Why? Because the mind wants something new every moment. Do you agree? Hamesha kuch naya chahiye. What's new in it? What's new in it? Why are all these videos, YouTube videos and cartoons very... Because you see, everything keeps changing. Every 3-4 seconds, something keeps changing on the screen. Why has the YouTube and this social media and everything become very flickering? Because you keep scrolling, it keeps changing. So the tendency of the mind is to seek something new and new. But does anybody in this entire world has the capacity to provide something new to their mind every moment? Please raise your hands. Does anybody, those who are online, if you think that if you have the capacity to provide something to your mind, something new to your mind every moment, you can please raise your hands. Yeah, I can do that. Nobody can do that. But you see this. Since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, that means moment after moment, in the line of this devotional service, moment after moment, you'll experience something new. So mind has a demand to get something new, and that can be achieved only in the lotus feet of Krishna. So mind has this demand. There is something called as demand and supply. So demand is that I want something new. Only Krishna's lotus feet can give that supply. So we have to meet the demand with the supply. Then only it will be proper existence, right? So that's what Yamunacharya is telling, that since I have been engaged in transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at that thought and my lips curl with distaste. Now, Yamunacharya had formerly been a king who enjoyed sexual happiness in various ways, but since he later engaged himself in the service of the Lord, he enjoyed spiritual bliss and hated to think of sex life. If sex thoughts came to him, he would spit with disgust. So that is the difficulty here which is being talked about. So we have to be very, very careful. We cannot allow the Cupid to make us stupid. Suppose you go, how many of you like to drink sugarcane juice? Especially now that winter is going away. You don't like sugarcane juice? Not that much, but if someone gives you, will you take one glass at least? It tastes good, right? How many of you like to eat the sugarcane or suck the sugarcane directly instead of taking juice. See, more people are raising hands. So when you go to a sugarcane farm or a sugar place where the sugarcanes are being sold, you break the sugarcane, you suck it, and after that, what do? You throw it away. Why? Because there is no juice in it anymore. I will describe you one incident. You tell me whether the person whom I'm talking about in this incident is mad or not. A person came to a sugarcane shop. He took a sugarcane and he started eating it. Chewed it very nicely, sucked it. Then when there was no rasa or taste or mellow in it, he threw it away. And then he started walking away. But then something came in his mind. He picked up the sugarcane which he had thrown out, and he again started sucking it from a different angle. But then again he found there's nothing in it, so he threw it. Again he went some distance, again he came back, he again picked up and again tried to suck it. But then he found nothing is there, so again he threw it. But again, after walking for 20 meters, he came back and he again picked it up and he again tried to suck it. And then he found there's no juice in it and he threw it. You know what happened after that? He walked away and he again came back. And he again picked it up and tried to chew it, suck it. And then he found nothing is there. But then he threw it. Is this person mad or sane? Is he insane or sane? That is my question. How many of you feel he is insane? Almost, you feel he's insane? This is madness, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is what the conditioned living entity is doing lifetime after lifetime. Each one of us sitting here in this room and each one of us sitting in this online session, all of us have experienced everything which we had to experience in all the lifetimes. Still, we feel that in this lifetime, by engaging with the Cupid, something new we will. We are all doing this, chewing the chewed. It is called Punah Punah Charvita Charvananam. Punarapi Janamam, Punarapi Maranam, Punah Punah Charvita Charvanam. Simply, we are chewing the chewed. That thing which has already been chewed up, that thing which has already been experienced, every time our mind or the illusory energy of the Lord, Maya, she gives us some hope that this time you will get happiness. Okay, in the last 1000 transactions, you did not get happiness, but in this transaction, you will get happiness. And there is no limit to which this Maya Shakti can make one stupid. There is no limit to which this Maya Shakti can kick someone, basically. So there is a person, his name is, you can actually Google him. I'm just checking out his name. I just Googled it. His name is Glyn Wolf. He married 29 times. Some of his marriages lasted only for 5 days, 8 days, like that. And he had hope in his life that my next wife will give me happiness. He tried 29 times. What do you think? Did he get happiness in life?
No.
From those 29 wives, he had 40 children. When he died, not even one child came to meet him. His body remained unclaimed for weeks. Not even a single wife came, not even a single child came. Cupid made me stupid. How many times Cupid made him stupid? At least. At least 29 times on paper. We don't know how many times they did that. So, and this Cupid or these lusty desires, they are very, very impersonal also. I had heard a song, Dil kabutar khana hai, logon ka aana jana hai. Today, I like this boy or I like this girl. Oh, she went away, then some other girl will come. This girl went away, then some other girl will come. Is this going on or not? It is not like, oh, I saw this girl, I saw this boy, and then for the rest of my life, I don't want to see anybody else. Does this happen? No. This means that this Cupid or these lusty desires, they have no meaning. They have no meaning. There is no such thing as, sometimes people say, I'm in love. 3 saal love kiya main, chhod ke chali gayi. There is no such thing. That boy who came 3 saal love, after 3 months, he was in love with someone else. So, there's no such thing as love. It's a fact. You know what love means? Love means that the other party is being able to satisfy you 100% unconditionally, unmotivatedly, and uninterruptedly. Now you tell me, is it possible? This is the definition of love. Pragad primera ei swabhave achar nij dukh vignadi na kare vichar. That is the nature of love. That in my relationship with my beloved, no matter what impediment come, no matter what difficulties come, no matter what challenges come, no matter what shortcomings come, in an unconditional way, in an unmotivated way, in an uninterrupted way, I will try to serve my beloved. Is it possible? We all have had many relationships in many, many lifetimes. In any of those relationships which we remember or which we don't remember, did we get 100% satisfaction or happiness with it? Those who are online, did you find a relationship in such a way in which you found 100% happiness and you found that the party could satisfy you 100%? Did you ever find such a relationship? If anybody has found, please type yes in the chat box, and then we'll clap for you. And we'll wait for you until your illusion goes away. So that is the reality, actually. Somebody said yes? I don't think so. Okay. So this is the reality. We are all looking for that perfect relationship. Why we have not found it? Because in the material world, it is not possible to find it. Love can exist only when it is unconditional, unmotivated, and uninterrupted. And that is only possible between Jivatma and Paramatma. That is only possible between Bhakta and Bhagwan. Even if you say, okay, my mother's love is uninterrupted and unconditional and unmotivated, still time will separate you. Time will interrupt it. So it is not uninterrupted. We don't know what we were in our previous life. Does someone know? Do you know? I know some people who claim that they know. They are mad, basically. So, suppose it is possible that a person could have been a pig in his previous life. Then do you think a pig is a very nice animal? It eats very dirty things. It remains very dirty. And do you think a pig is thinking about Krishna? It is only thinking about the green, yellow, and the black color. Correct? It will be talking, today I got green. What you got? Oh, I got yellow. Oh, I got brown. How was it for you? Oh, for me it was slimy. Oh, for me it was dry. This is the discussion which the pigs will have. But there is the Paramatma in the heart of the pig also. So even when we become a pig, God does not leave us. We may forget him, but God does not forget us. Even when we become a demigod or a demon or a pig or a human being or a cat or a Omicron virus, Krishna never leaves us. So that is his love. Unconditional, unmotivated, and uninterrupted. Krishna doesn't say you have become a pig, I will leave you. No. Krishna doesn't say that you don't think about me, you don't love me. He stays with us. So therefore, there is no such thing called as love in this material world. There is only lust. Love can exist only between Bhakta and Bhagwan. Everything else which you see, if anybody says, yeah, I found true love, we'll wait for that person. Very soon he'll come to know that it was not love, it was sense gratification. That's all. So the point which I'm trying to say here is, these are my notes. You can also see my notes. So this lust is very impersonal. And I have a verse also here. Actually, to open the verse, to show the verse, I will have to again connect. Give me 1 minute. Are you able to see the screen? I'm going to share my screen over a very nice verse to show you the nature and the glory of lust. How Cupid it makes everyone stupid. So there is a very great demigod. All of us know Lord Shiva. He's a very great demigod. Cupid made him also stupid. Here is a verse. We know that Mohini pastime, where the Supreme Lord takes the form of Mohini, and even great yogis like Lord Shiva, they start following. And Mohini, she was having fun. She was going to those places where the devotees of Lord Shiva were doing yajna and were praying to him. And they were meditating upon Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was running around behind Mohini in those places only. And they were thinking, we are praying to Lord Shiva. What is happening? He's running behind us. He's running behind a woman in front of us only. So Mohini was having fun. You see, it's written here. Following Mohini, Lord Shiva went everywhere, near the shores and the rivers and the lakes, near the mountains, near the forest, near the gardens, where there lived great sages. So in the purport, you see, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Mohini Murti dragged Lord Shiva to so many places, especially where the great sages lived, to instruct the sages that Lord Shiva had become mad for a beautiful woman. Thus, although they were all great sages and saintly persons, they should not think themselves free, but should remain extremely cautious about beautiful women. Now you see this point. No one should think himself liberated in the presence of a beautiful woman. Now, what does the modern education encourage you? Go mix freely. The more you mix, the more advanced you are. Correct, no? But what does the Bhagavatam say? No one should think himself liberated in the presence of a beautiful woman. In fact, the Shastras enjoin Matra swasra duhitrava navi viktasano bhavet balavan indriya gramo vidvamsam api karshati. This is from Bhagavatam 9th canto. One should not stay in a solitary place with a woman, even if she be his mother, sister, or daughter. That's how, you see, for the senses are so uncontrollably powerful that in the presence of a woman, one may become agitated, even if he is very learned and advanced. Even if somebody is very learned, I have read the Bhagavad Gita 500 times. But if I'm not controlling my mind and if I'm not controlling my senses, even if I sit with my mother, sister, or daughter, there is a serious problem. But the modern education does not talk about this. And so because of this, there are so many problems happening in the society. Okay. So I would like to, at this point of time, I would like to tell you a very nice pastime. This is the pastime of Jaimini Rishi. How many of you know Jaimini Rishi? Have you heard of him? He was a student of Vyasa. So the Bhagavad Gita says that mind control is very necessary. Bandhur atmanastasya yenatma atmana jitah anatmanastu shatrutve vartitatmaiva shatruvat. For one who has controlled his mind is his best friend. And for one who has failed to do so, his mind is his
enemy.
Worst enemy. Not just enemy. Worst enemy. So, how many of you would like to stay with your worst enemy for the next 7 days? Please raise your hand. And how many of you think your mind is fully controlled? Please raise your hand. That means we are staying with our worst enemy. So Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyam cha uchyate. With practice and detachment, one can control their mind. What is the practice? The practice is ABCD. Associate with devotees. B, read the Bhagavad Gita. Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And D, diet. Eat Krishna Prasad. If anybody does this ABCD, that is the practice. And detachment wants anything which takes you away from this path of patience, determination, and enthusiasm in the path of devotional service. Anything which distracts you, you give up that. Oh, this friend of mine, he's very dirty. He distracts me. I'll give up my friendship with that person. Oh, this gadget is making me problem. I'll give up that gadget. Or at least I'll try to use it in a very wise way. So anything which distracts us from Krishna consciousness should be given up. So that is a detachment. And practice means this ABCD. We have to continue our practice so that we will develop a higher taste. Only when we develop a higher taste, we can give up a lower taste. And mind control is not an option. It is an emergency. So I was talking about this Jaimini Rishi and Ved Vyas. So Ved Vyas was telling that, see, until unless you have controlled your mind and engaged in devotional service to Lord Krishna, your senses cannot become controlled and you cannot stop doing illicit or incorrect activities. But Jaimini Rishi disagreed. He said, no, I'm a Jnani. I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I've read so many Puranas and scriptures. I know what is right and I know what is wrong. I'm not a devotee. That's okay. I know what is right and I know what is wrong. I'll never do something wrong. His idea was that if you know what is right and what is wrong, you are safe. So Vedya said, no, it's not like that. Your mind should be controlled and you should be a devotee of Krishna. Then only you are safe. Your knowledge, your intelligence, your degree, your family, your resourcefulness, your society, your relationships and your people and your gun, all this is not going to save you. But Jaimini Rishi wouldn't agree. So Vedvyas said, okay, no problem. The month of Chaturmas came, Vedvyas said, okay, I'm going on a short pilgrimage, I'll be back. But see, Jaimini Rishi, you are alone. Please take care of yourself. Arini, why you are telling like that? I'm your student, your best student, as good as you. I've read everything which you have written in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Vedas, in the Mahabharata. Why are you worried? I know what is right, what is wrong, don't worry. Vedvyas said, okay, no problem. And then he was there in the ashram. 1 week passed. And in the evening, regularly, every day, he was going to collect some wood in the forest. One day when he was collecting the wood, it started raining. So Jaimini Rishi was standing under a tree waiting for the rain to get over. As soon as he turned towards his right, he saw a beautiful woman next to him. The woman was also waiting for the rain to go. And then he asked her, who are you and what are you doing in this forest? And the woman said, see, I came here to take some wood. And then it started raining and I have to cross that river. Do you see that river? It is fully flooded. I can't go also tonight anywhere. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling very sad. Jaimini Rishi told, I'm there now. Main hoon na. Why are you worried? You see, my cottage is here. You come with me. Wood is there? I'll pick it up. You come with me. So he only picked up both the woods and then the woman came in the cottage. But then he understood that this is an ashram. I have to behave myself. So he said, okay, this is your cottage. That is my cottage. You please go inside. Here are some dry clothes. You please lock it from inside and no, don't open it at any cost. Even if I tell you to open it, don't open it. And then Jaimini Rishi went into his room. This is a true incident, by the way. I'm not cooking it up. It's there in the scriptures. Jaimini Rishi went into his room and he started his work. But then as he was working, the visualization of the beautiful wet hair of the woman started coming in his mind. And then he started remembering the beautiful voice. And then he started remembering the aroma which was coming. And then he became fully agitated. And then he closed the book like this. Jaimini Rishi. And then he went and he started knocking at the door. Open it. The woman from inside, she was saying, why should I open it? It's the dead of the night. You only told me never to open. No, I'm the owner of this house. This is my property. I want it to be opened right now. The woman said, I'll not open it. Jaimini Rishi said, you're offending me. I don't care. I'll not open the room. I don't think you have the right intentions. You're telling Jaimini Rishi, the disciple of Ved Vyas, has no right intentions? No, you don't have right intentions. Jaimini Rishi became so crazy, so mad, so he went into a frenzy, a kind of madness, that he brought a ladder. He put the ladder next to the cottage and he got onto the roof of the cottage, which was made out of hay and thatch. And he started removing everything. so that from there he will enter. And when he removed everything, what he saw inside, It was Ved Vyas who was sitting inside. So Ved Vyas did all this to teach him a lesson. Again, hence proved it is Manasi jump. Jaimini Rishi had no interaction with that woman as such, but everything was in the mind. And Ved Vyas proved to him that until you become a devotee of the Lord, until you become a devotee of Krishna, until you learn how to control your mind, until you develop a higher taste in life, even if you become the biggest PhD and the biggest scholar of this world, you will remain a Godas, a servant of your senses. You will never become a Goswami. Goswami means a person, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nakankshati Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Goswami means he never hankers for anything which he does not have, and he never laments for something which he has lost, and all the time he is happy from within. The source of his happiness is not a man or a woman next to him. The source of his happiness is within. He is a devotee of the Lord, and he is constantly meditating. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He is constantly meditating, thinking of the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord Krishna. And he's happy. Extremely happy. So Ved Vyas was telling, let's see, you are Jaimini Rishi, but see your condition. In the dead of the night, you want to enter a cottage in which you know where a young woman is staying. And you are calling yourself an Acharya. So hence prove that until you become a devotee and until you learn how to control your mind, no matter how much well-educated you are a zero. What you are?
Zero.
Big zero. So there are various stories. There is another story I'll tell you. There was a king. How many of you like hearing stories? I'll tell you some stories. So there was a king, and this king loved his wife so much that he wrote 100 poems in the memory of his wife. And he purchased the most precious jewel and gave it to the wife. Sorry, I have not stopped my screen share. He purchased the most precious necklace and gave it to the queen. But this queen was in love with the commander-in-chief of the king. So this queen gave this necklace to the commander-in-chief. This commander-in-chief was in love with the prostitute. So this necklace was ultimately landing in the hands of a prostitute. And one day this prostitute came to the king. And she said that, I love you very much. King said to his queen, I love you very much, gave the necklace. Queen said to the commander-in-chief, I love you very much, gave the necklace. Commander-in-chief said to the prostitute, I love you very much, gave the necklace. And then the prostitute came to the king back again, I love you very much, take this necklace. Guess what happened after that? The king came to know. And then he did his inquiry. And he understood. He's writing 100 poems for a queen. But what is that queen doing? Simply wasting time. And then the king realized that there is no love between people. Love can exist only between Bhakt and Bhagwan. Of course, love can also exist between two devotees. Two devotees of the Lord can also serve each other very nicely. But essentially, the essence of all love is love of God. Otherwise, there is no love in this. If a king cannot satisfy his wife, what can others do? How many of you are kings? Please raise your hand. Most of us are, strictly speaking, not kings. What to speak? Many of us think, we are almost in this position of a beggar only. So if kings are not able to satisfy the people around them, so what is the hope that normal people can do that? Because lust cannot be satisfied. And how this lust attacks us? The lust attacks us very, very The steps in which lust attacks is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna. He says, Dhyayato vishaya pumsan sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So Lord Krishna has given full flowchart. Only we don't study the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says how this lust begins. How many of you want to know how the lust begins? Please raise your hand. You want to know how lust begins? Dhyayato. When you dwell upon some sense object. When you start thinking about some sense object. Lust develops. Dhyayato vishaya pumsa. And then sangash teshu pajayate. Because you are always thinking of that sense object, so you are doing association with that sense object. Sangash teshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Now that leads to lust. And kamat krodho bhijayate. The natural result of lust is, you know what? Anger. How lust leads to anger? Unsatisfied lust. You're saying? But if you satisfy your lust, still you will become angry.
It cannot be satisfied.
It cannot be satisfied. That is why, because lust cannot be satisfied, so whether you try to satisfy it or whether you don't try to satisfy it, the natural result is anger. And then what happens? Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When you become angry, you lose your discrimination power. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. When you lose your discriminatory power, you lose your memory. Means you forget why you came here. You forget the purpose of life. You forget who you are. You forget what is the real aim of life. You start thinking that you are a man, you are a woman, you are an Indian, you are an Australian, you are an engineer, you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are a CA, you are a cat, you are a dog, and you forget that you are a spirit soul. That is called loss of memory. The dharma of the spirit soul is to be a loving servant of God. Jivera swarup hai krishnera nityadas. The original constitutional position of a spirit soul is that it is a loving servant of Krishna. Will you repeat this with me? The original constitutional position of a spirit soul is that it is a loving servant of Krishna. How many of you are spirit souls? All of us. Even the COVID virus is also a spirit soul. So the dharma of the spirit soul, just like the dharma of the salt is to be salty. What is the dharma of sugar?
Sweet.
Sugary. So what is the dharma of someone? To serve the Lord. Dharma doesn't mean Hindu, Muslim. See, dharma is something which cannot change. That's why I say it's Sanatan Dharma. Today I am Hindu, tomorrow someone gives me 7.5 lakh rupees, that's the rate these days, to become a Christian in ACS layout. That's the rate. They'll give you 7.5 lakhs and they'll ask you to become a Christian. That cannot be called as dharma. Dharma means something which is intrinsic with you. Your dharma is to serve. Somebody is serving their family, somebody is serving their bad habits, somebody is serving their boss, somebody is serving their false ego, somebody is serving their society, somebody is serving their apartment community, somebody is serving their mobile, somebody is serving somebody. And if they don't have anybody to serve, then they buy a cat or a dog and they start serving. So what is the constitutional dharma of spirit soul? To serve. But why nobody is happy? Because they are serving the wrong person. They are not serving Krishna. And they are serving all these Cupid ideas, thinking that they will become happy, but they are not becoming happy. That's why the Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidhati. We are all hoping to get that happiness which will completely satisfy us. But have we got that till now? No. The Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsam paro dharma. There are so many dharmas. Society dharma, nation dharma, planet dharma, family dharma, XYZ dharma, cat dharma, dog dharma. But Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsam paro dharma. Amongst all dharmas, the greatest dharma is to serve Krishna. Yato bhaktir adhokshati. To render devotional service to Krishna is the highest dharma of a spirit soul. And this dharma should be done how? Ahaituki apratihata. It should be done unconditionally and unmotivated. Not that, oh Krishna, you please give me a promotion. If you give me, I'll continue. If you don't give me, then I will change. That is not dharma. Krishna loves us unconditionally, unmotivated. Don't you think we should also love him unconditionally, unmotivated? It is fair only, no? Is it unfair? It is fair. So, ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. And when we love Krishna, when we love God unconditionally, unmotivatedly, it completely satisfies our heart. And there is no other way to get that satisfaction. Unfortunately, because of misdirected civilization, people are looking for this happiness with the Cupid, but they are not getting it. Cupid is only making people stupid. And how does this Cupid act? The scriptures say that this Cupid has 5 different kinds of arrows. The first arrow which it fires is called as the Sammohan arrow. The hypnosis. One looks at a beautiful person from the opposite gender and then keeps looking. Gone. The first arrow has been fired. And then the next arrow is Unmadan or intoxication. Now that you have very sensuously looked at someone, you become intoxicated. I want it. Now this can be a person also and this can be a thing also. Very sensuously I looked at one car. Some mohan happened. Now in my dream that car is coming. Now intoxication. I want it. Dhyayato vishaya pumsa. Sangasteshu pajayate. I'm associating with the car in my dreams. So the second arrow of Cupid is intoxication or unmadan. And then the Cupid fires the third arrow. That is shoshan. That means desire to unlawfully enjoy. If I have a car, should you enjoy that car? No. Who should enjoy that car? Huh? Who should enjoy? The owner of the car. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhumirapo analovayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyamme bhinna prakriti rashtudha. Krishna says earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are my separated material energies. Now, apart from this, what do you see around? Apart from this earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, what do you see? Everything belongs to Krishna. So everything should be used in Krishna's service. Lust means I try to unlawfully enjoy Krishna's property. That is lust. So therefore, when I look at the opposite gender, or when I look at some object which has made me crazy with lusty desires, I try to do shoshan. The first arrow is sammohan. That's how I'm telling you the steps how which lust conquers someone. So first is hypnosis, sammohan. And the second is unmad, intoxication. I want it at any cost. And the next is shoshan. By hook or by crook, I will get it. Desire to enjoy. I will go to any extent to get this enjoyment. Any extent means any extent. The fourth arrow is stambhan. Stambha means a pillar. Stambhan, a pillar cannot do anything. A pillar is just stand still. So similarly, one becomes completely pillar-like focused on the sense object. They cannot do anything except thinking about it or getting it. That is the fourth arrow. Fourth stage of lust is that I can't do anything. I just want that. And I'm useless now. I can't do anything else. And the last arrow is tapan or fire. One starts burning in a fire to exploit that thing. See, this is not something new. All of us have experienced it. So these are the 5 arrows of lusty desires. And this Cupid It doesn't say that, okay, I will attack people only in India, or I will attack people only in New Zealand. It attacks the birds also, the human beings also, the demigods also, the aquatics also, coronavirus also. You can check it out. How else they are, otherwise how they are reproducing so rapidly. So this lusty desire is there in everybody. But one who overcomes this lusty desire gets real happiness. Buy this flat and you'll become happy. Buy this bike, you'll become happy. Buy this car, you'll become happy. Take this loan, you'll become happy. Wear this undergarment and you'll become happy. But did you become happy? This is called as false promise. So Cupid only makes false promises. Maya Shakti of the Lord over promises and under delivers. What it does? She over promises and under delivers. One will think, okay, if I get this girl, or if I get this boy, or if I get this house, I'll become fully happy. But all of us know that nobody is happy. So, how to overcome this lust? Now we have talked so much about Cupid. How many of you are now fully convinced that yes, Cupid makes us stupid? Please raise your hand. Hope you're not raising your hand in pressure. You agree, no? That Cupid makes you stupid? You don't agree? You agree, right? That Cupid makes stupid. Okay. I'll check with the online people also. Let's see what they are doing. How many of you feel that Cupid makes you stupid? Please, if you are convinced, please raise your hands. Cupid makes one stupid. Please, not all of you are raising your hand. That means you're not at the system. You're simply logged in. Or maybe I have not been able to convince you. Yes, thank you very much. So Cupid, yes, it makes us stupid. Now, enough about Cupid. What is the solution? Prabhuji, you have just made us more afraid. What is the solution? Yes, there is a solution. And for that, learning that solution only, we have come to the temple. Why we have come? So that we will learn the solution to our problems. So, the solution to lust is lust. Lust is the solution of lust. Now, how I will explain. Imagine in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, everything beautiful or wonderful you see, it is just a spark of my splendor. If I see something very beautiful, if I see a very beautiful woman, or if I see a very beautiful man, or if I see a very beautiful house, immediately I should think that if this Shrishti or if this creation is so beautiful, then how beautiful will be the Shrishti Karta or the creator? Do you follow? Yes. If this creation is so beautiful, then can you just imagine how beautiful the creator will be? The moment we think like this, we will begin to overcome, or we will begin to become free from the shackles of the Cupid. Cupid cannot act after that. Where there is sun, can there be some darkness? Where there is sun, can darkness coexist? No. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakar Jahan Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. The moment Krishna enters your mind, lust cannot exist. Lust, greed, anger, illusion, enviousness, attachments, nothing can exist. This is the beginning step. See, the Bhagavad Gita says, Vishya vini vartante niraharasya dehinam rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. It says, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of sense objects remains. Prabhuji, I'm trying, but still the desire is coming. Yes, it will come. But seizing such engagements and experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. So what we have to do, we have to develop a higher taste. Suppose some boy or some person is very addicted to eating chewing gum. And then I call that boy and I give him rasmalai. What will happen? He will throw the chewing gum, he'll take the rasmalai. And if I promise him that whenever you want to eat chewing gum, you come to me, I'll give you rasmalai. Will he ever eat chewing gum in his whole life again, next life? This life, previous life, next life, whatever? He will never eat. Why? Because he developed a higher taste. So until we develop a higher taste, we cannot give up the lower taste. So that is the recommendation of the Bhagavad Gita. And that higher taste begins with the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Krishna. Name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna. So whenever we find ourselves in difficulty, whenever we feel that the Cupid has shot 3 arrows now, 2 are pending, immediately we should start thinking of Krishna. One who is attracted to the beauty of Krishna never falls down. Please repeat with me. One who is attracted to the beauty of Krishna never falls down. How many of you want to fall down? So you have to make yourself attracted to Krishna. Now that is only possible when you regularly do this ABCD, Association of Devotees of Krishna. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you eat Krishna Prasad. Just like when you stay with a person who has corona, you'll get infected. If a person has tuberculosis, and if he has eaten this pakoda, if you eat that pakoda, what you will get? Tuberculosis. So similarly, Krishna has eaten something. That is called prasad. When you eat that prasad, you will be infected with Krishna. How many of you want that Krishna infection? That is the best infection to have. If you get this Krishna infection, nothing else in the whole creation can infect you. This is the best vaccination, Krishna vaccination. So how to clear the lust? Just like poison cuts poison, love for Krishna cuts the lust. So I've just tried to come up with some acronym. LUST. LUST can kill lust. How? Here L stands for loud and clear chanting of the Hare Krishna Mantra. First thing which you have to do is to loudly and clearly chant. You can chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You have to chant this and you have to hear it. If you hear this sound vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, mind will become controlled. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, enviousness, attachments will leave you. You will become a Goswami. You will be able to be disciplined in life. You will be able to do what you want to do. You will become a better son. You will become a better employee. You become a better husband. You will become a better wife. You will become a better citizen. Whatever you are doing, you will become better. Why? Because your mind is controlled now. And then best thing which will happen is that you will become free of lusty desires. So the first step is loud and clear chanting of the Hare Krishna Mantra. Do you feel happy when you get this news? Till now, everybody was only telling you how to satisfy your lust and cheating you. We are actually telling you how to get rid of it. Don't you feel happy? It's a great independence. Don't you feel it's a great independence to be free of lust?
Yes.
For that, what is the first step which you have to do? Loud and clear chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Next thing you have to do is the U, that is understand the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam very nicely. Especially the Bhagavad Gita. We have to see the world with the Shastra Chakshu, not with the Charma Chakshu. You have to see the world the way it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and not what you are seeing. Can you see everything which is there in this room? Can you see everything which is there in this room? No. If you want to know something about, if you want to get the detail of something, you have to read the manual or you have to go to the creator of that thing so that you'll get complete information about that. Don't you agree? For example, here is a speaker. If I want to know everything about this speaker, I have to go to this company who have manufactured this speaker and I have to ask them, tell me everything about it. And apart from this company, is there anybody else in the world who can tell me everything about it? No, because they know what they've put inside it. So who has made this world? And what he has told in the Bhagavad Gita. How to live in this world, how to leave this world. So we have to see the world, we have to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Imagine if you take an X-ray to someone on the road walking, what he will say, some black is there, some white is there, and that much is there. But if you take the X-ray to a doctor, what he will say, lymphosarcoma of the intestines. He'll understand immediately. So, a person who has knowledge or a person who understands the Bhagavad Gita, he will not suffer. And how to understand the Bhagavad Gita? You cannot simply understand the Bhagavad Gita. The pre-qualification to understand the Bhagavad Gita is that you should be a devotee of Krishna. One who is not a devotee of Krishna cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. Even if you read the Bhagavad Gita 50,000 times, if you are not a devotee of Krishna, you cannot understand. So in order to understand the Bhagavad Gita, you have to be a devotee. And when you understand the Bhagavad Gita, you will not suffer. See, miseries will come in your life. We don't say that if you read the Bhagavad Gita, no problems will come. No, maybe more problems can also come. Depends on your karma. But if you read the Bhagavad Gita, you will not suffer. Miseries will come, but suffering will become optional. So we have to understand. L stands for loud and clear chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. U stands for understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. So we are trying to kill lust with L-U-S-T, lust. So we are defining what is that lust. S stands for sadhu sangha, association with the devotees of Krishna. Because when we go in that association, what do we get? Inspiration, prerna. We get inspiration in life. Yes, I have to become like that. Look at that Prabhuji. He is experiencing so much happiness. I want that happiness. Don't you get that inspiration? So when you go in sadhu sangha, you get that prerna, you get that inspiration. And more importantly, you get something which makes life easy. You get kripa, you get mercy. Because these sadhus, these devotees, they will start praying for you. They'll sincerely pray for you. They will help you. They will assist you. And for that, they want nothing in return from you. So when we get the association of such selfless, positive people, our life changes. That is called sadhu sangha. And finally, T stands for tolerate. Everything begins with tolerance. He's saying a verse. Matra sparshastha kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agamapaino anityas tam titikshasva bharat. We are trying to solve all the problems which we have, but are we able to solve the problems? The solution to many problems is just tolerate it. That is the solution. Only the Bhagavad Gita speaks like this. No other book speaks like this. The solution to many, in fact, most of the problems is tolerance. When you tolerate, you overcome it. Just like the itch. The unwise man will go on scratching, but the wise man will tolerate it. So every problem in life begins with tolerance. And how do you tolerate? By taking shelter of Krishna. By developing a higher taste, you can tolerate it. See, everybody, this Cupid is making everybody mad, and everybody is behind the opposite gender. It's just skin deep attraction, infatuation. Suppose somebody likes a girl very much. And then next day the girl develops some chemical reaction and mustache comes on her face. And she comes and tell you, let's go for shopping, we'll buy Gillette Mark 3 Turbo. One you use, one I will use, and we'll both be in love with each other. How long do you think that relationship will last? Because it is sensuous, skin deep. There's nothing in it. But the Lord, even if he comes as a half man, half lion, people love him. If somebody's wife comes as half man, half lion, what will they do? First thing they'll do is like, you get out from my house. But the Lord is so beautiful, so attractive, and so all-encompassing and so loving that even when he comes as a half man or a half lion, people love him. Even when he comes in the form of a pig or a boar, people love him. Even when he comes as a dwarf, Vamanadev, people love him. Even when he comes as a fish, people love him. This is called love. Devotees will love him. This is called love. It does not depend on the form. It depends on the love which they have for him. So we have to develop that attraction for Krishna. Then we can tolerate everything. Please always remember, until you develop a higher taste, you cannot give up the lower taste. It's not possible. The Jaimini Rishi example we have, Vishwamitra example we have, Saubhari Muni's example we have. Until you become a devotee of Krishna and until you develop a higher taste, you cannot give up the lower taste. The Maya Shakti will always trap you. Therefore, Krishna says about this Maya Shakti in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, what is that verse? Maya metam tarantite. Does somebody get that verse? Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. He says clearly that those who surrender unto me, they can cross over my Maya. Why? Because it is my Maya. Mama Maya duratya. Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So he has very clearly told that if you want to overcome all these illusory energies, you have to surrender to me. And surrender to me means offering worship to Krishna, offering obeisances to Krishna, thinking of Krishna, becoming a devotee of Krishna. And what is the result of this? Unlimited bliss and unlimited freedom. People say, oh, I should surrender to Krishna, I'll lose all my freedom. What freedom you have right now? We are already agitated by lust, anger, greed. We are like a Kathputli, a play doll in the hands of modes of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. They are killing us moment after moment, and Cupid is shooting all the 5 arrows on a daily basis. What freedom we have now? But if we simply surrender to Krishna, we get unlimited happiness and unlimited freedom. We access a world where every step is a dance and every word is a song. If you really want to live happily ever after, you have to do these 4 things. In order to defeat lust, you have to do this LUST. What are those LUST? Loud and clear chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. Sadhu Sangha. And how you can tolerate? You can sing nice bhajans of Krishna and tolerate. Would you like to sing a very nice bhajan of Krishna for 5 minutes? I'll show it on the screen for all of you and also on the people online. And after singing the bhajan, we will end the session, okay? Share my screen now. Is my voice clearly audible? Some people are saying that my voice. So I was telling that the devotees of the Lord, their love is not based on skin deep. Their love is true. So I have the Dashavatara Stotram here, where the devotees of the Lord are loving the Lord in whichever form he comes, because the Lord is all attractive. And when we sing, whenever we feel that okay, the Cupid fired 2 arrows, 3 arrows, 4 arrows, 6 arrows. Whenever we find ourselves in difficulty, whenever we find Cupid making us stupid, simply we should take shelter of these bhajans. Simply we should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Simply we should read the Bhagavad Gita. Simply we should take shelter of the Sadhu Sangha. And simply we should tolerate by singing these bhajans. So I will just sing maybe 4 or 5 verses of this bhajan. You can also try to sing with me. Keshavadita Meena Sharira Keshavadita Meena Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha. Keshava, Lord, the universe, who have assumed the form of a fish, you easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish to give protection to the Vedas, which had become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation. So when you read this, don't you feel attracted to Krishna? Don't you feel attracted to the Messiah? You see, there are so many such glorifications. When you get to know more about his pastimes, his name, his qualities, you will and then you will not be distracted by this. I was talking about this. Shukar. I was telling that even when the Lord comes in the form of a boar, people like him. Here is the glorification. Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharmi Kavalagna Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharmi Kavalagna Shashiri Kalam Sakare Vanna Shashiri Kalam Shavadita Sukar Rupa Shavadita Sukar Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha. Krishna assumes various incarnations. So, Keshava, the Lord of the universe, assumed the form of a foot. The earth, which had become merged in the Garbhoda portion, at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of like a spot. So, when devotees they sing this, in the spiritual television of their heart, they visualize it. Once you see Krishna, the word Krishna means all attractive. Once you see Krishna, you don't have the desire to see anything else. That's why I said one who meditates upon the form of Krishna never falls down. Some very nice bhajans are there like this. We'll end with the last verse of today. The favorite verse of the devotees. Tava kara kamala vare adbhuta singam kara kamala vare nakamadbhuta Dalita Hiranya Kashipotam Dalita Hiranya Kashipotam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jaya Jagadisha. Keshav, Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man and half lion. Who is this? Narasimha. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, some insect, anybody can just kill like this. So in the same way, the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails of your lotus-like hands. This is you can understand the Lord of. The reason why one is in complete love with the Lord, every day you realize Krishna is like this also. Oh, Krishna is like that also. Oh, this is also. Oh, that is also. So have you seen a person who has hands as soft as a lotus flower, in which he has nails, and with that nails he is ripping apart the stone-like chest of Hiranyakashipu? After hearing such attractive verses, you will be in complete love with the solution of all problems. One can make love with Krishna. Cupid cannot make that person. So we have to take shelter of Krishna. With that, I would like to end today's discussion. If there are any questions or comments, you can ask. Any questions or comments? Any doubts? No questions? Yes. What's your name, first of all? So cool. Yes, you are a very good student. Not in our hands. See, if I decide that from today I'll abandon lust, is it possible? Until Krishna wants, until I have the mercy of Krishna and the devotees of Krishna, I can't come out of it. Lust means shackles. My hands and legs are tied. Anger means my hands and legs are tied. So if my own hands and legs are tied, how can I leave my own self? Only someone whose hands and legs are not tied, when he comes and opens my hands and legs, there is ideally the degraded form of love is lust. What is lust? I define lust. The unlawful way to try to enjoy something which does not belong to us. That is lust. Will that in any circumstance give us happiness? And the goal of life is to be happy. So why don't we completely give it? It is not enough. Until Krishna wants, we cannot become free. Devi hi esha gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya, ma'ameva ye prapadyante maya mekam taranti. This divine energy of mind comprising of the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. Maya Shakti, very. But those who have surrendered to me, the spot on answer to your question, yes, you should give up completely lust and repeat devotion, business and attachments. But the condition applied here is that it is not in our hands. One can artificially think I will give up, but it's not possible. One has to use everything in Krishna's service. For example, anger. Anger can also be used in Krishna. So you cannot nullify the anger. It's impossible. Some people say, oh, you are a Prabhuji, you are a devotee. Why do you become angry? Stay with me, they know that I keep scolding people. Does it mean that I am not a devotee of Krishna? So anger is a spiritual emotion. Even Lord Narasimha becomes angry. But anger has to be utilized in the proper. When somebody, please listen, when somebody insults me, when somebody provokes me, when somebody treats me badly, I will tolerate. But if somebody insults Krishna or a devotee of Krishna, I will become very angry and I will scold that person left and right. This was done by Hanuman. Whole his life he never became angry. But when he went to Lanka, he saw Lord Ram being blasphemed and Mother Sita being mistreated. He became so angry. He became so angry. He became so angry that what happened? He burnt the whole Lanka. Imagine you go to someone's house, you become so angry that you burn his house. So Hanuman utilized anger in the right way. Anger cannot be nullified. Lust cannot be nullified. Only it has to be utilized in the service of Krishna. So when you take guidance from a devotee of Krishna, they will teach you in line with the previous acharyas, in line with the Bhagavad Gita. How can I use my lust, anger, greed, illusion, attachments in the service of Krishna? There is only one thing which cannot be used in the service of Krishna, that is enviousness. Enviousness you cannot use. You have to give it up. Others also you have to give it up, but there is an easy path. You can dovetail it, you can channelize it in Krishna's service and become free of it. But enviousness you cannot even channelize in Krishna's service. The person whom you are envious of, if you give service to that person, and of course, when you chant Hare Krishna, your heart becomes free of it. Yes, Rishikesh. Making him happy. No, not happy. Otherwise, why the most beautiful man in India is having a divorce with his wife? Do you think he's a happy man? See, happiness doesn't come with wealth. The richest man in the world is not happy. The most beautiful man or woman in the world is not happy. The most intelligent person in the world is not happy. The most famous person in the world is not happy. And the most strong person in the world, most influential person in the world is also not happy. So it is a wrong education which we have received. That if I get that money, or if I get that person, or if I get this beauty, or if I get this something, I'll become happy. Why? Because we are all hankering for a relationship where the other party understands us 100% and satisfies us and reciprocates with us 100%. But have any one of us got that relationship in all our previous lifetimes? So no, only that relationship can make us happy, and that is only possible between Jivatma and Paramatma, between Bhakta and Bhagwan, and not between you and your car, or you and your spouse, or you and your flat, etc., etc. So the aim of life is to be happy. Let's not be distracted by the WhatsApp statuses and the Facebook images of different people. It's an artificial thing. So your question is that they do wrong things, but they still seem to be flourishing. Let them flourish. They have previous good karma, so because of that they are flourishing. But the game of life is to be happy. Why would a person like Bill Gates, after earning so much all of his life, is now eager to distribute 85% of his wealth in charity? And he's writing his blog that I'm getting happiness, which I had never experienced in life. That means donating money gives more happiness than our. So let's not be distracted by false things. We are students of Bhagavad Gita. We are loud chanters of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We want to take the association of the sadhus and the devotees. And we understand that the solution to problems in life is not necessarily trying to adjust the laws of material nature, but the solution to problems often lies in tolerance. So we are on that path. We should not be distracted. Correct? Any other question or comment? Okay, then we'll end today's session by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the core of our heart, and we'll pray to the Lord that He may save us from this illusory energy. Let not Cupid make us stupid. Okay? Let's chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One last time with your hands raised up in the air. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.